Coming up next on the PEG Podcast.
It's good that I love it because just like if the way that Netflix changed, if we don't change, we'll go out of business.
I think that there's a lot of wisdom to that statement. Can I challenge you a bit on that? So PEG's been around for a while and staffing industry's been around for a while.
It has. It's been around for a long, long time. But yes, it's evolved. In fact, the internet wasn't around when we started PEG.
And how are we making a change, I should say?
Well, our why, the reason we're in business is
we just want to make a difference. PEG Podcast.
Well, Lauren, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen.
I'm Karen Span, and welcome to our PEG Making a Difference podcast.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
Fabulous. Well, Karen, tell me a little bit about this podcast, why PEG started a podcast, and what we're doing today.
Well, the purpose of the podcast is to talk about, for the first time, PEG publicly, because we've never done that. And also, we're going to interview different companies and clients of ours about how they make a difference in the community. But today, we're going to talk about ourselves.
Oh, fabulous. Fabulous. I will not run out of things to talk about then. I'm teasing. So tell me a little bit about PEG Staffing. I am obviously one of your employees, one of our recruiters here, and you've been president of the company for many years.
Mm-hmm.
So what does PEG do and how have we changed? And how are we making a change, I should say?
Well, our why, the reason we're in business is to make a difference in people's lives. So that's something that is a cause that's near and dear to my heart. So how we've changed over the years, we've changed a lot. Well, when I first started, we had ads to find employees in the paper, and we advertised in the Yellow Pages.
What are the Yellow Pages?
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're making me feel very old. Since you don't know, you probably don't know what the White Pages are either.
Probably different color than the Yellow Pages.
They are. And it was probably what your mom used as a booster seat when you were little, but you don't remember that.
That's so funny.
They were about this thick. And it's how we advertised to put our phone number. The White Pages were what people used to have your phone number listed for that phone on the wall in your house before cell phones.
Yes.
And the Yellow Pages were what people used for your business listing.
So PEG's been around for a while and staffing industry's been around for a while.
It has. It's been around for a long, long time. But yes, it's evolved. In fact, the internet wasn't around when we started PEG. And I remember when there was a dial-up internet connection, but I bet you don't even know that too, that You've Got Mail. You may have seen that movie.
Yes, with Tom Hanks, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was AOL.
Oh, very good.
Mm-hmm. So fast forward to today. Now we're in a very technological age, and everything's transformed in our industry, as you know.
I do, yes. LinkedIn, Indeed, all of these platforms that most job seekers probably are on and most employers are probably on too.
That's exactly right. And one of the things that I personally love, though I probably drive all of you insane, is change, transformation. And it's good that I love it because just like if the way that Netflix changed, if we don't change, we'll go out of business.
I think that there's a lot of wisdom to that statement. Can I challenge you a bit on that?
Yes.
If you are a job seeker, say I'm looking for a job,
Mm-hmm.
should I be changing my approach?
Well, increasingly, there are a lot of fake resumes out there from AI. And that's one of the fallacies about our business is a lot of job seekers think that it costs to use a staffing agency or a recruiting firm, which we do both. And it doesn't. We help job seekers for free. So there's no reason not to use us because we weed out the fake resumes. So there's no reason not to use us.
And as a recruiter, Karen, I can affirm we do get a fair share of bot resumes, unfortunately. And it's funny you mentioned that because I was chatting with the president of a company here in St. Louis, and he was talking about how that's one of their biggest hurdles right now is these fake resumes, or maybe not even fake, but resumes that or from candidates, from job seekers that just aren't really in the target market.
Mm-hmm.
Easy apply button. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you've heard that a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
On LinkedIn or on Indeed, it's so easy to just mass send your resume to multiple places, which kind of the spray and pray method, which can be
Mhm.
helpful and is not necessarily a bad technique, but to a company, it can be frustrating to be flooded with hundreds of resumes of candidates who are just not local or just not in the wheelhouse you're looking for.
Well, on the same token, it's similar to college applications.
I never thought of it like that.
Well, yeah, because like when I went to college, you applied to 1 or 2 colleges, maybe 3. Now colleges are flooded with applications. So it's the same principle.
Ah, I see. Well, technology has its double-edged sword, right? That's what they say about it.
But that's another reason for clients to use us because you weed out all the bad resumes. So they don't have to. And I think there's a perception from people that use us when we submit 2 or 3 candidates that that's all that you went through. But I know that's not the case. I remember speaking with Sarah a couple of years ago, who is one of our salespeople who also recruits, that she went through 500 project manager resumes before she submitted 1 or 2. That takes a lot of time.
It does. I remember joking with another one of our recruiters that I've probably talked with every single sales and use tax accountant in St. Louis.
I bet you did.
Where it's a very niche market,
Mhm.
very talented professionals out there. But we spoke about this earlier, the matching component
Right.
of the staffing world, looking for that, that perfect fit for the candidate and their next step in their career, but also for the company, what they need, how they need to grow their business or help with the project. It's definitely not one size fits all. That's for certain.
Right. And that's one of the things that I think really differentiates us because there are a lot of staffing firms, recruiting firms too, that use offshore recruiters these days. And if they have spoken with a candidate in the last 2 years, they'll use an offshore recruiter, and that qualifies if they get a resume into their system from the offshore recruiter that they have spoken to in the last 2 years, that qualifies as them having spoken with that person. So they will just send that resume directly to the client, and the candidate doesn't even know that they were submitted to the client.
That seems a bit unfair. That seems unfair, especially we spoke about offline, off the recording, how small St. Louis is and how it's growing and it's becoming a vibrant city that it once was. But reputation really, really matters.
It does.
And reputation is really all you have. And so if your resume gets sent somewhere and you don't know about it, I think that can hurt the candidate.
Well, they may not even want to work there.
That's what I mean. Or they might not even be active on their search right now.
Mhm.
Or if they haven't had the chance to review, the description and the culture and compensation range, it could be misrepresentation,
Mhm.
which it's wrong, Karen. It's not honest. And honesty is one of our pillars.
That's exactly right. It's deeply important to me. And you only have your reputation. And once it's gone, it's gone. And a lot of these firms, it's the speed to market, but we care about our clients and we care about our candidates. And I know that you take a lot of time to represent your clients and your candidates and make sure that everybody is represented fairly. And that's important. And that's one of the things that really sets us apart from our competition.
It is. And I don't think you can have care without having honesty.
I agree. I totally agree.
And we talk about recruiting being like professional matchmakers, which maybe sounds like a wonderful title. Maybe I'll switch that on my business card, professional matchmaker. But sometimes those matches don't happen instantly, and it does take time because you're working with a candidate's timeline, and they have circumstances outside of what we see with their family and with their maybe they have a project they're working on or they're waiting for a bonus to come through. Their timeline is unique. Then we have the company's timeline and what they're able to bring on and what they're looking for, and it's difficult to find that match when all parties are thrilled and excited and happy. And some of my favorite, most successful, and most proud placements happened on that second match, where it was we just stayed in contact, we kept up with each other, and a couple months later, a couple weeks later, even a couple years later, they're ready to hop back on the market, and then they find that position that really truly is that fit, and it feels good. Feels good for everyone.
One of the things that I've often said about what we do and the objective of what you do is to make our clients a hero when they walk into the conference room with their boss. So you send them the perfect match and they go into the conference room and they're a hero with their boss because you've got the perfect new talent sitting in the seat. And there's nothing that keeps someone like me up at night more than having the wrong person in the wrong seat. And you put the right person in the right seat.
Well, then talents can really thrive too. And we talk about a business, every business has their own mission, right? They're trying to do good in their world and the good in their employees' lives and their people's lives. When you have that right person, it becomes a symphony. When everyone works together, and it probably sounds like a cliche, happy situation to have, but it really is so rewarding and so amazing to see that play out. And that's probably another thing we should probably speak to is the philanthropy efforts too that we get to witness when a business is being successful. They are able to give back, and that just impacts tenfold.
It's something that I've always cared deeply about. And as you know, we do philanthropy at PEG. We've always done it under the radar. And I love that about us. I love the heart of PEG, that we give back. And from here forward, as you know, we're going to start getting involved, not just in the community, but with our clients' philanthropy efforts. So I'm really excited about that.
Me
We're going
too.
to ask them what they care about, and we're going to get involved in the community alongside our clients.
I hope that it becomes an inspiration too to anybody listening, or, just to plant those seeds of this is a great organization here in your area. This is how we can give back and become involved and really leave an impact that goes just beyond ourselves and beyond our own little circle.
Me too. Me too. And the ones that the times when I look back that to me were the most special were when we gave of our time and our talents, because we've gotten to know people in need in the community, and we've gotten to see the impact that some of these organizations really make. And we've seen the change we've made in other people's lives firsthand. Lauren, why don't you explain what control looks like in action at PEG?
Yes, well, it starts with truth from the very beginning. So usually we meet with the client first to learn what their needs are. And we'll talk with the hiring manager, the line manager, whoever is, going to be the direct supervisor, the direct manager. We talk about what duties are, what the duties consist of, what they're looking for in terms of personality, what the budget is, timeline, anything you could possibly think of relating to a job or to a candidate, we cover it. Then what we do is we go with our team of very talented recruiters. And another thing that distinguishes PEG from maybe other staffing agencies is we have our specialties. So we have whole teams of recruiters that are constantly talking with, for example, candidates in accounting and finance, or in IT and engineering, or in operations, or HR, whatever the specialty might be. We keep a constant communication, very close pulse to the market. So when we do have a position that comes through our doors, chances are we might already have a candidate in mind that a recruiter has spoken with, or that they know might be looking or quietly looking. There were stats I learned from one of our Indeed reps, actually, that about 70% of the market are actually passive job seekers. So they're not actively looking, but they could have an ear out for, a next best opportunity. So we talk with those people too and share with them as much information as we can about the position, company, benefits, growth, you name it. And then it's taking that excellent candidate and presenting a hiring profile to the hiring manager. And then we'll talk with the candidate about how to interview, what to look out for in terms of questions, benefits, responsibilities until they feel confident. And then we'll also coach our clients on how to approach an interview. Because if you think about it, especially for these higher level positions like a controller or IT manager, you don't hire for those every day. So what would you know to look out for if the previous person's been in the seat for 5 years or so? The market's really different now than it was 5 years ago. So that's part of the coaching that our really talented client reps do as well.
Lauren, the last thing that really differentiates us from our competition is communication. Can you speak to what that looks like in action with our clients and our candidates?
Yes. Well, the great thing about today is you can't really escape your cell phone or your email. So we are staying in constant communication with our clients and with our candidates on the status of the search or the status of their own timeline too. So good, bad, or ugly, we're going to stay, very close to them. Whether they had an interview and it went well, we're going to give you the feedback on what was positive. If it didn't go so well, we're still going to chat with you. That way you can improve and be better in your next opportunity. So all of that is just remaining honest and just really choosing to place candidates' care and the client's care above whatever outcome it is that we might want.
What about upfront with the clients? What it's going to look like in terms of the search and the cost and all of those things?
So we cover that day one too. That's another great advantage of having talented recruiters specialized in their own niche is they do have a constant idea of where the market is. For example, I think the market goes up and down with having a very high, say, surplus of one area of talent, or maybe it's weaker in another, or very specialized and hard to find. We call that a purple squirrel search if it is really challenging to find. And sometimes the search can go on for a matter of days. Other times it might take months. And that really just depends on where the market is, where our candidates are. And then we're going to let you know too as a client on what the status is, what the timeline looks like, how that's changed, and even the candidate's own timeline too. Like we have candidates who might have 2-3 offers on the table or expecting 2 to 3 offers by Friday. And they want to know if our client is going to be compatible with their own timeline so that they can make the most educated and informed decision for them and for their families. So we stay pretty close to the pulse for both sides.
Is that the way other people operate?
I'm not certain about that. Again, I think what makes PEG unique is we're going to be honest from day one with every step of the way. Yeah.
We just wanna make a difference. Pay Podcast.